From banditry to kidnapping and robbery to insurgency, Nigeria is battling to consistently ensure safety of lives and property. A task that is daunting, yet surmountable. Hello and welcome to Nasarawa Focus. I am Sule Adeoye. A special feature today takes a look at how Governor Abdullahi Sule is working with security agencies to ensure law and order in Nasarawa State. Welcome to the program.
The North Central region of Nigeria comprises of Nasarawa, Benue, Niger, Kogi, Plateau, Kwara, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This region has been confronted with several security challenges, such as farmers-herders clashes, kidnapping, and banditry. The police is aware of these numerous security threats and has called for this meeting with governors of the North Central region to brainstorm on the way forward.
Therefore, mobilizing for the participation of the citizens in securing their communities, especially at the local level, is a key strategy that the government is determined to employ in its efforts to provide total security for the citizens. It is in this context that the federal government has approved the adoption of community policing approach as the strategy for policing Nigeria and guaranteeing internal security order.
The governors of the region are happy with the move made by the police and have adopted community policing as a solution.
And so the law should not be something to toy with. Everyone must learn to respect the laws of our land. In Benue State, we have issues of killings, kidnappings, armed robbery.
What we practiced was not different from what the Inspector General of Police is advocating for today, which is purely community policing.
Recently, Governor Abdullahi Sule paid a visit to Odu community in Udege development area to condole with the people over the demise of their traditional ruler, who was murdered in cold blood. This depicts the seriousness of the crimes that are being perpetrated on a daily basis in the state that was hitherto seen as peaceful. Now, Dasu is on that flashpoint in the state where activities of men of the underworld have gone unabated. On the 27th of July, government attacked the community, killed 5 persons, and abducted 14 people. Houses, motorcycles, and other valuables were also burnt beyond recognition. This has forced residents to desert the community for fear of being harmed.
These bandits are mostly occupying the forest between Nasarawa State and Kogi State. They are there in large numbers. There was a time that the military men tried to push them out, but after the exercise or after the operation, they came back in large numbers. So, and for that reason, I want to call on the federal government to take a very serious action, because what is happening in this area is similar to what is happening in Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto.
We had some of the bandits that were dislodged from the northwest and the northeast, and they found some of these hilly places. In Nasarawa, we have a lot of rocky places, and they found some of those places comfortable. So they moved to those locations. And as a result of that, we follow up to ensure that we track them based on what they do. By the grace of God, we have a very good police commissioner, excellent director of DSS, and a fantastic also director for civil defense. And they work together along with all the military installations that we have. All of them work together in synergy, and they are able to make sure they help us in taking care of most of these criminals.
You will recall that recently he met Mr. President. He discussed with Mr. President about insecurity in Nasarawa State, with particular reference with total local government. And few days after, we all witnessed
that some Air Force men were received by His Excellency along with my very good self in Lafayette Airport.
Police is also working around the clock to restore sanity to the state, which was regarded as one of the most peaceful states in the north before the lockdown. Its efforts have now started yielding fruits with the arrest of these suspects. These suspects are allegedly responsible for the kidnapping of the state chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Joseph Masin, in May 2020. The suspects released the chairman days after negotiations with his family. But the police kept track of the incident, and now the suspects are cooling their heels in police custody.
We are all aware when the CAN chairman, Nasarawa State, Bishop Mason, was kidnapped. We struggled assiduously. We constructed several anti-criminal templates. We entered bushes, we climbed mountains. We put pressure on the kidnappers, and eventually was released. These young men are another set of suspects allegedly responsible for the killing of the traditional ruler of Odu community, Amos Obere. The suspects are allegedly responsible for the kidnap of the grandchildren of Osuajiri, a first-class traditional ruler in the state, and other commuters along the local Abuja road. They were arrested by the police while lavishing their money in Nasarawa, a town in the state. We have arrested them. They are members of dangerous kidnapping and banditry group. But with their arrest, we have been able to disconnect, to dislocate, and to mollify the aggressiveness of this criminal element.
We were arrested by the police because of our involvement in kidnapping, but we were not the people who killed the traditional ruler of Odu community.
Insurgency, banditry, robbery, and kidnapping are among the many challenges confronting the Nigerian state in recent times. It has led to the death of thousands of persons and loss of properties worth millions of naira. The recent massacre in southern Kaduna, the heightened level of insecurity in Nasarawa State, and the continuous killings of persons in the northeast speak volumes of the current state of insecurity in the country. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, is aware of these and is making frantic efforts to tackle these challenges. This mobile police training college in Ende Hills of Nasarawa State is one of the measures put in place by the police to enhance the capacity of its men to tackle the increasing rate of insecurity in the country. The training school is equipped with adequate infrastructure such as dormitories, natural hills, a helipad, and a clinic that would aid the learning process of the trainees.
Specialized training is key to effective planning, coordination, and successful operation of the police, especially at this time that the nation is faced with the threat of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and armed robbery.
The Minister for Police Affairs, who is representing President Muhammadu Buhari, and the Nasarawa State Governor are at hand to inaugurate the project. They are convinced that the training school would contribute immensely in the fight against insecurity in the country.
The intention is to expand the capacity of the PMF training facilities in the country to give effect to the capacity building for special forces to neutralize arising waves of violent criminalities across the country.
It is my belief and conviction that the establishment of this college will serve as an avenue for prospective participants to exchange ideas and share experience on modern trends of combating insecurity in the entire country.
Headquarters of 4 Special Forces Command.
This is the Nasarawa State Governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, flagging of the construction of the headquarters of the Nigerian Army Special Forces Command in Doma. In his goodwill message, the governor described the event as a demonstration of the collective commitment to address security challenges, not only in the state but the country at large, stressing that with this development, the North Central Zone, including Nasarawa State, will soon be shorn of all criminal tendencies as the region joins the League of States that experience peace and security in the country.
The competition for scarce land between the farmers and the herders in the zone has made it vulnerable to many security challenges ranging from communal clashes between herdsmen and farmers, kidnapping, banditry, cattle rustling, among other socio-economic challenges in the zone. This development is an indication that Nasarawa State and indeed the North Central will soon join the League of States that experience peace and security in Nigeria.
Action Aid Nigeria and Global Peace Development are partnering with the Nasarawa State government to inaugurate the State Conflict Management Alliance (COMA). The essence is to facilitate coordination between security services and improve capacity to respond to emergencies, among others.
As we are aware, in furtherance of His Excellency's commitment in securing lives and property, as well as ensuring prompt response to security challenges in the state, we have put in place necessary machinery for the constitution of conflict management team aimed at promoting and strengthening greater coordination among conflict management institutions and to ensure intelligent gathering and quick response to emerging security challenges.
We need to be able to come together when we are trying to locate where the roots of issues of security are. It will also increase the participation of the civil society organizations, women, and other relevant stakeholders who might be affected, and we believe that coming together can increase the voices of everyone into the kind of discussion that is held with the state security apparatus.
Now, all of this purpose is to ensure there is safe security in Nasarawa State. That means community will be generating information from the cards to the local government, and from there it is processed here and responses will be provided.
For the executives of SCOMA, violence and crime are incompatible with development and would be fought with all sincerity.
Peace is everyone's business. It's my pleasure to be in this committee. I will find myself in a situation, apart from lawmaking, will be able to have a platform where we erode crisis, where crisis will not have place.
The inauguration of the new alliance is expected to bring an end to the marriage of security challenges and violence within the state and the country at large.
Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has ordered the evacuation of persons whose houses have been submerged by the latest flood waters that ravaged Nasarawa town of Nasarawa local government area.
So we're trying to look at the causes of the flooding. One, about the town planning of Nasarawa itself. Two, we're trying to look at the ecological challenges that Nasarawa is facing. We also look at the map of the layout of the river of Nasarawa. Inshallah, we will do all that this week. By the time we do that, then we will take the various steps. But the people who are going through the hardship, the first thing is to try and see how we can evacuate them to safer grounds. Because in case there is another rainfall again, then the situation will be worse for them.
The Nasarawa State Governor, who rushed to the Asian town on getting the report of the incidents, sympathizes with the leadership and people of the area.
So the people who are going to load the food, tell them they can get ready and go there so that they don't go and then they see there are no loaders. So please think outside the box ahead of time. Okay? All right. Thank you very much.
Governor Sule has also ordered that mattresses and other food items be provided without delay.
Once we take them to site that is safe at this moment, next is to make sure we provide them with feeding. So there is going to be some food that will be brought in, inshallah, today from Lafia to Nasarawa so that we can support these people. Then by tomorrow, we are also going to look at some building materials such as cement, zinc, nails, and other things that the people will need immediately for those who are not badly affected, so that they can start taking care of themselves.
We had over 44 truckloads of assorted grains, and now, as you can see, non-food items are going to 7 different communities within the state that have already been touched by flooding and rainstorm and so on, other related water-related crises. So this have affected our people around here, and so the governor gave directive that these items should be taken and shared to those various communities as palliative.
Governor Sule expressed his commitment of his administration to take a second look at the channelization project, while hoping to seek the collaboration of the federal government in tackling the age-long ecological problems in the area.
I have appealed to them about blockages of drainages, about building on the water and the river lines. And so we are looking at all this as our final solution, and by the grace of God we pray, that there won't be any rain again in the next 1 or 2 days.
Tolerance, transparency, accountability, inclusiveness, and ensuring value for money are principles of good governance. The absence of these principles spell doom for the economy and the security of any state. In a bid to re-engineer and enhance these principles in the governance of Nasarawa State, the state government has organized this summit for the 3 arms of government. It coincides with the Nigeria celebration of independence and 24 years of the creation of the state. The aim of this summit is to encourage a harmonious working relationship among the arms of government and shun rivalry in the act of governance. This, the government feels, would translate to the security of lives and properties and economic growth of the state.
At this summit, facilitate the fertilization of ideas, experience sharing and appraisal of our respective responsibilities with a view to evolving the needed enduring synergy for a conflict-free and exemplary and reinforcing interdependence of the executive and judiciary as well as the legislative arms of government according to our constitution.
Other arms of government are convinced that a collaboration between all arms of government would be of great benefit to the state.
It follows therefore that the primary responsibility of the state legislature is to make law and laws for the peace, order and good governance of the state. It simply means that it behoves on the House of Assembly to make laws that will ensure the protection to life and property, compliance to the rule of law, adherence to due process, and to promote social harmony and stability in the state.
But the governor is just one man, and that is where the team comes into play. Every ministry that exists in the state must begin to look inward and think on how to build a lasting value chain that will contribute positively to the state.
Since the inception of the Abdullahi Sule administration, the state governor has shown commitment to improving the lives of the people, matching previous promises made with action. At a recent Executive Council meeting, the government reiterated on ensuring sustainable development in all rural communities across the state.
Government, in its determination to further provide dividends of democracy to rural dwellers, the Council has endorsed the establishment of the Nasarawa State Bureau for Rural Development. Some functions are to manage all rural infrastructures, including roads, electricity, and rural water supply. The Bureau will also regulate rural feeder roads, construct, upgrade, maintain, and rehabilitate rural feeder roads and water installations in the state, among others.
In recent months, The Nasarawa state government has taken special interest in the health sector to prevent a shortfall of medical professionals.
There is indeed a general shortage of medical personnel and human resources for the healthcare sector.
To this end, the state government will now provide scholarship for prospective medical students.
Nasarawa state government is to introduce a special scholarship scheme for state indigenes studying medicine, nursing, and midwifery. This is to encourage indigenes to develop interest to study in order to reduce cases of inadequate personnel in health sector.
The Governor Abdullahi Sule-led administration also made a resolve to ensure that medical doctors in the state are committed to healthcare delivery in public health institutions.
The State Executive Council has accepted the resolution of the State House of Assembly, which calls for all those doctors to close their private clinics and concentrate in the government hospitals where they work and where they're earning and they're being paid to work. And this is to avoid a scenario in which government employed doctors divert patients to their private clinics for, of course, for some other financial considerations.
Nasarawa state government has re-echoed its resolve towards ensuring law offices operate under a conducive atmosphere. Governor Abdullahi Sule said this when the national president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olumide Akpata, paid him a courtesy call. He also underscored the importance of a good working relationship between the executive and the judiciary.
Constantly you come across complaints between one another. Nasarawa still we're lucky. We've been able to resolve a lot of our security challenges, even though we still have some. But from time to time, you have a blame game, where the executive will say, we arrested them, the judiciary actually released them. And then they will say, no, judiciary released them based on facts available to them. You didn't provide your facts properly. So that is one of the reasons why we believe we need to sit together and understand how do you want those facts presented, what will give you the best thing to be able to prosecute and to be able to send the people who don't mean well to jail where they belong, so that this country will remain in peace with one another.
National President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olumide Akpata, who is in the state to fraternize with members of the Nigerian Bar Association in Nasarawa State, appreciated Governor Abdullahi Sule for the attention given to sustainable development, even as he made a case for law officers in the state.
I want to encourage Your Excellency and, of course, those in government in Nasarawa to pay attention to the judiciary. Your Excellency, you know, I may be saying the obvious. That may already be the case in Nasarawa, for which I will be extremely grateful. But just in case, you know there's always room for improvement. My Lord, Your Excellency, the issues that we have noticed going around the country campaigning, firstly, is just the financial autonomy of our judiciary. Secondly, the issue of infrastructure, the automation of the process of justice delivery.
On arrival in this position, I came to realize some of our magistrates were actually going to court on motorcycles. And I said that cannot be. And within a short time, we were able to provide the magistrates with vehicles, every one of them, in order for them to be able to do it. And vehicle is just one aspect, but you need to support them with the various tools that they require, including the housing you have mentioned. For housing, you have come to the right place. If they can do it in rivers, Nasarawa State, where we have all the land, we can do it better.
Governor Sule assured of his administration's commitment to meeting some of the basic needs of judicial officers.
Nasarawa State continues to raise the bar for sustainable development under Governor Abdullahi Sule. And that's our show for today. You can join us again next time for more interesting episodes. Until the next one, Always remember, Nasarawa means business.